Two important points. Number one, Kenya Kwanza administration is cleaning the economic mess occasioned by the handshake brothers. So it's not as if the economy was stellar, and then as soon as the President Ruto was sworn into office, the economy started going south. No. Kenya Kwanza is literally cleaning tables and trying to steady the ship. So if you want to blame anybody, and he claims that I don't know the cost of milk and these kind of things, I don't know what he's talking about. So
because you are privileged.
No. So if there's anybody to blame for the cost of milk, cost of the food inflation in Kenya, cost of fuel, is the handshake brothers. Have you ever asked yourself why Mr. Raila Odinga never raised a finger when he was working with President Kenyatta, when the cost of fuel was going up, milk and everything else? He maintained radio silence. In the military, they say radio silence. It was nil by mouth. He never opened his mouth one day. In fact, when guys said the cost of living, he dismissed them and he said these people don't understand economics. That's number one. Number two, the MPs from ODM or Azimio who said they're going to work with Kenya Kwanza have not voted against Azimio party position in the National Assembly. There's no evidence that Honorable Mark Nyimita has voted against ODM position. But what he has said is, I'm going to activate my lobbying infrastructure to get Maendeleo coming to my constituency. And again, running away from what he has said, lobbying is not an instant coffee. When you're lobbying for capital projects, you don't go to State House on Monday, then you get an allocation on Tuesday. These things are incorporated in the budget. It may come today, it may come tomorrow. So you need to give it time. But you see, the Azimio fellas, everything they want is instant coffee, instant tea. And as a man who comes from Kisii, I know that instant coffee and instant tea does not have the culinary effect you want. It must be brewed. So they must allow this thing to be brewed. So lobbying is not voodoo.
All right.
But at the end of the day, we need to ask ourselves that all these demonstrations, all these picketing, all these political noise, whose interest does it serve? Is it aligned to our national interest? Is it aligned to our public interest? I think that must be the elephant in the room. We can discuss theory till the cows come home, but the practice is that we must ask ourselves that are there genuine reasons? Like for instance, there's the issue of food inflation, which is a source of concern. The cost of fuel, which is a source of concern. There's evidence that the Kenya Kwanza administration is trying to manage that issue. It has not done a runner. So you can't start saying that they failed to do their work. In fact, you saw a few days ago that the principal secretary's committee had a meeting chaired by Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, where they've laid out all these strategic issues and programs that Owila is talking about. If you had taken time to read the communique, all those issues are captured, that everybody is going to be accountable. Okay. The principal secretaries, it's not going to be business as usual. They need to have a service charter, performance contracting, performance management, and they've identified 10 strategic areas. Now, one of the key components is food security that we are suffering from today. And you remember, one of the things that Azimio is complaining is that we need subsidies, but on consumption, not on production. You know, now that is a policy issue. Yeah. But have you seen them giving out a PowerPoint presentation where they discuss the merits and demerits of offering subsidies for production and not consumption, so that we have sustainability. Then also one of the strategic issues, again from those principal secretaries committee, is issues of housing insecurity that they want to address. So all those things are captured, this time around not in political rallies, but as an official government document, which I suspect most Azimio fellas have not consumed.
So the plan is in the offing from what you're mentioning. On the first point that you highlighted, that, what was it on?